How you doing, guys? Tomato Sauce in here, and today what I've got for you is the ultimate Fury Warrior guide for solo shuffle PvP. If you haven't unlocked your transmog yet, if you're not really feeling the Arms Warrior gameplay, let's try out Fury Warrior, right? So what we've got today, we're going to take a deep dive into Fury Warrior. We'll go over the gearing, which will cover the stat priority, as well as the talents, the PvP talents, and some situational awareness, right? So some gameplay tips on Fury Warrior in solo shuffle. If you haven't unlocked that elite transmog yet, after this video, you should be able to coast through it. So I've been playing Fury for a couple days now. I haven't put a ton of time into it. As you can see, I've only put about 90 solo shuffle rounds into the character, but it's a blast to play. I'm having more fun on Fury than I am on Arms right now. So I wanted to get out some of my real world experience and put it into guide format for you guys on the channel. I hope you enjoy. So let's get right into it, guys. We are going to start out with our gearing and our stat priority. And as you can see, again, this is outside of the arena. So we have the non-PvE item level, or the non-PvP item level happening right now. But what I do is I try to prioritize haste, because with this build, we want to get as many bloodthirsts in as we possibly can. So what's helping you out there is haste. And on top of that, we're running Annihilator, which is an auto attack version of the build. So we don't run Rampaging Blow, and haste is going to help your Annihilator stat, auto attacks go out faster than they would otherwise. But you can see, even by stacking haste, if you run the Infurious Warboots of Impunity and Infurious Helm of Vengeance, you're actually still pretty darn balanced on your paper doll. So you're obviously going to stack versatility as your primary stat, which that's just the story in PvP. Mastery, you'll get some mastery just based on having tier, and so your 4-piece tier set, you can see you're catch mastery in your gloves. That's it, actually, in your gloves. But you get it on your Infurious Warboots of Impunity, and then I think this is crit verse. And then on your weapons, they don't have haste weapons, which is insane to me. I don't know why they don't have a haste verse weapon for a two-handed warrior. But I took 1 crit and 1 mastery just because this is what I use in Arms, and then this is what I'm rocking with Fury. So we can go through the enchants and what we're aiming for. I like aiming for the 4-piece in every class that I play. So this isn't the most impactful 4-piece, but you do get more executes out. That means you're going to generate more rage, and execute it hits, right? So you're hitting, it's not as hard as Arms, obviously, but you're getting 30-40k executes with this 4-piece. So executes chance to critically hit, or to critically strike, is increased by 25%. And then sudden death's chance to reset the cooldown of execute and make it usable on any target, regardless of health, is greatly increased. So you are getting a lot of executes, and that's helping you build up your rage even quicker. And that's another reason why we get away from Rampaging Blow in this build, because you always have something to hit between Rampage, Bloodthirst, Execute, and Whirlwind. If you can, essentially, I Whirlwind anytime I can get my Rampage Slaughterhouse stacks on 2 people. So if 2 people are pretty close, I'm going to Whirlwind before I Rampage. Maybe I'll even get a fat Bloodthirst or a fat Execute out of that as well. And we'll get into the talent tree in a moment. But that's pretty much the gearing here. You can see I'm just running the Gladiator necklace here. I really love the helmet. Just like in my Arms Bleed build, you're going to want this helmet because you are taking bleed focus talents on Fury Warrior as well. So this helmet synergizes greatly with that. Yeah. And if they do go you are an absolute walking tank, so you don't have too much to worry about. So again, the 2 craftable pieces I make, so I'm not running a Lariat, and I'm just rocking haste verse gems with primary stat verse gem here. The other enchants, I'm just focused on speed. I just want uptime. And on chest, I go sustained strength over waking stats. because I want that extra stamina, because Fury, everything we do is scaling off our stamina, right? So our Bloodthirst heals are scaling off of our health percentage. We get 5% more health from our tree. So you're going to want that stamina. Really nice. And we're rocking two two-handers, so we have two massive stat sticks here. Then on legs, I'm running the Fierce Armor Kit. Again, more speed, Plains Runner's Breeze. And then I go Haste Enchants on my rings with another Haste Gem. So I'm taking Haste wherever I can get it. As you can see, I'm going heavy Haste, low Verse on my gems, and Haste Enchants on the rings, because I want to get as close to 20% Haste as I possibly can. And when I'm in Arena, I think I'm at like 21%. So that's the gearing here. Now, let's take a look at our talents. And this is so much fun, right? It's actually, to me, I think this is even more fun than the Arms Bleed build. So if you enjoy the Fury playstyle at all, and you like the Arms Bleed build, I think you'll love the Fury Bleed build that we've put together here, and that we're running on the ladder now. So in the class tree, as you can see, you know, we'll go row by row. Berserker's Rage, Impending Victory. I'm taking War Machine as well, because our auto attacks are going to generate more rage, and the whole build is scaling your auto attacks. You can see I skipped Intervene in my last shuffle. I went 5-1, but I got rid of Intervene because I wanted Shattering Throw so that I could, you know, so I could break a bubble here and there. Then I go into Rallying Cry. I think Intervene is really a flex point at this point in solo shuffle. If there's a rogue in the game, I take it every game so that hopefully I can intervene every other kidney shot if they're not going me. But outside of a rogue being in the game, I don't think there's a lot of value to intervene anymore. It's just not as good as it was in Shadowlands. I really think they should, you know, incorporate some type of mini wall into the player you're intervening, right? So we get that conduit back. It just doesn't feel as good of an ability to hit. I can't count the number of times I've intervened my Warlock buddy, and he still ended up on the floor through intervene. That mini wall would help us out, you know, a lot. So yeah, I play intervene on arms every game, but Fury, I kind of flex in and around of it. I don't mess with Inspiring Presence or Second Wind. I go into Leeching Strikes because we have a ton of self-healing in this build, and all of the self-healing synergizes incredibly. We go Spell Reflection, Fast Footwork, because again, uptime, we're enchanting speed. We want fast footwork. We want to be flying through the arenas, keeping uptime on our target so we can keep our Slaughterhouse 35% or 36% Mortal Strike on the target 100% of the time. Piercing Howl, again, that's going to help you keep uptime, and it's going to slow everybody. It's actually a great peel mechanism if you're playing with a caster or even a hunter, right? Rampage has a 20% chance to immediately refund 20% of the rage spent. I don't know why. Oh, I took this for Shattering Throw last game. But yeah, you actually don't even need to take this normally, right? You actually would not take this, but I did take it for Shattering Throw. So if I wasn't going to take that, boom, and then get out of this, and you can throw it in Cruel Strikes, right? So your critical strike chance is increased by 1%, and critical strike damage of execute is increased by 5%. If you want to be a real pain in the ass, you could even take Shockwave and give yourself a little 2-second stun, right? So now you have Stormbolt and Shockwave. So there's a few things that you can do with this Annihilator build if you don't need Shattering Throw in a game. We just happen to be in a game where I didn't have a priest and there was a paladin on the other team. So in order for me to go 5-1, I took Shattering Throw so that I could keep getting through that paladin bubble the whole game. But yeah, if you don't need Shattering Throw, always take Intervene essentially. Even though it's not the greatest button right now, it is still a decent little utility button, and you might be able to intercept a little bit of damage on your partner. Yeah, Cruel Strikes is always nice, right? I was actually going to see if we could get both of those out, but I didn't think so. It had been a little while. Go there, get rid of you, do that. No, we got to go here first and then come down there. Boom. And this is the build that I prefer to run in the majority of my games. But yeah, sometimes I do flex out of these 2 points in order to get Shattering Throw. Now, as we go down, you're going to see we grab Pain and Gain. Again, as a Fury Warrior, your main goal is to do as much self-healing as possible throughout the game, especially if they go you. The sustain that you have between all of your self-healing and Battle Trance and Enraged Regeneration, when you press that, if they don't disarm you on Enraged Regeneration, with how many Bloodthirst you're going to be spamming in this build, you're just a monster, a healing monster. You literally cannot die through Enraged Regeneration unless they CC you for the full, I think it's 12 seconds or 11 seconds that this lasts. And if they don't CC you for the full 11 seconds, you could actually hit a Bloodthirst every second. It's actually crazy. The healing that you can get off of this is absolutely insane. I've been the victim of many games so far where people are going me, and I'll have a million or 2 million healing at the end of the game because I am just super sustain focused. And we're coming out of the gate with about 475,000 HP because we're taking stamina wherever we can, including this awesome stamina talent, endurance training. We'll get here in a second. So now going down to this row, you'll see we take barbaric training just because it synergizes a little bit with our improved whirlwind, and we need it to get down to endurance training. Bounding stride, reinforced plates is just more armor, more physical damage mitigation. I take bitter immunity. Again, I think this bails you out of a lot. There's a lot of warlocks now running that curse debuff, and if they if they crit debuff you with their curse of weakness into your main go, that's a travesty, right? You can't trinket that curse. This is the only button that counters that counters that warlock curse of weakness, where none of our attacks will crit for 20 seconds. That's an insane button. So I take this definitely into every warlock team, but honestly I take it every game because it removes diseases and poisons as well as curses. So it's annoying into assassination rogues. Then I'm also Dark Iron Dwarf, so I have Fire Blood, which is just another button to get rid of poisons, diseases, curses, magics, bleeds, etc. So I like to really equip myself to have multiple answers to annoying buttons, and I think that Warlock crit buff or crit anti-crit buff that they throw on you, crit curse, is kind of BM. So I like having the ability to knock 2 of those off, for both of my goes. And also assassination rogues are still very, very scary. So Fireblood is awesome into them. Then I take double time. And as you can see, I come down into endurance training, which is 5% more stamina, which is huge for Fury Warrior. And then on top of that, the duration of movement and pairing effects on you are reduced by 10%. So just synergizes with you being enraged, you moving faster, you taking fast footwork. You're just going to try to have as much uptime as possible because you're just a moving forward damage and sustain machine. Into here, you can see I'm taking Cruel Strikes. Then we go into our dual wield specialization. We'll grab 5% extra damage from that. 2 out of 2 Wild Strikes, which synergizes incredibly well with Annihilator. Haste is increased by 2%, and your auto attack critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. And that's nice because that means your slaughtering strikes will stack up to the full 5 times in between your rampages sometimes. So that's nice, right? You're just going to have more damage coming out of your rampages because of slaughtering strikes and the synergy with all of our auto attack speed, increasing mechanisms, and stacking fat haste. Then we go armored to the teeth. You're going to gain strength equal to 10% of your armor. This is a no-brainer. It's just more damage, and you're a plate-wearing warrior, so you're going to have a ton of armor. Take this down into Avatar, and you're going to transform into a Colossus for 20 seconds, causing you to deal 20% increased damage, and it removes all roots and snares, so it just keeps you moving quick. Then we have Titan's Torment, which I think is really a cool ability. And this is interesting for Fury's main go, because it makes Fury's big burst, the minute and a half burst, just be massively oppressive. If you don't want to like spread your bursts out and you want to get all of the cooldowns in the beginning of the game, try to live till your second go and wrap it up at a minute and a half every round, you can do that on Fury. And that's how I win a lot of my rounds right now. So I'm actually stacking Recklessness, Avatar, get the free Odin's Fury, because I press Avatar with that right into a Thunderous Roar, and then I'm popping Rampages and Bloodbath, which is what the what do you call it? The Reckless Abandoned version of Bloodthirst is called. So yeah, you're popping, and you're doing big damn every minute and a half, and then your 45-second go, right? It's a little baby go, but you're still doing very consistent, 35,000 DPS into a target, just sustained throughout that, throughout that minute and a half that you're waiting to pop all your big CDs again. So because it's a bleed build, we take Thunderous Roar and we go down into Thunderous Wounds. And I don't take the cooldown reduction here because I like the minute and a half go that you get out of Fury Warrior. So basically you have a 45-second go where you use your Odin's Fury, with all of your, your rampaging, and you get a little extra damage out of Odin's Fury. And then you have this big minute and a half go where you're stacking Avatar, Recklessness, the free Odin's Fury, and Thunderous Roar into another Odin's Fury as soon as that bleed wears off. So your minute and a half go is massive. Your 45-second go is a little itty bitty baby go, but it's good pressure. Now let's go into the Fury tree, and I'll talk you guys through this because the Fury tree is really like a thing of beauty. For somebody who loves bleed focused builds, I think the bleed version of Fury is just much better than Arms overall. It plays better. You have much more sustain than you have as an Arms warrior. And let's get through the talents. So obviously first we're taking Bloodthirst, our main ability. Then we're taking Raging Blow, which gets replaced by Annihilator. So you don't even need a place for Raging Blow on your bar, which is nice because the Fury rotation with Raging Blow honestly feels pretty clunky. It just does. I've played Onslaught builds. Actually, I played Bajira's Onslaught build, and I did not like it at all. It didn't even do as much damage as the bleed build, in my opinion. And it's clunky. At the end of the day, you have like 4 rage generating abilities that it almost, it's just a priority of when you slam your face into the keyboard to press them. This one, your only priority is Bloodthirst and then Whirlwind if you can spread Rampage. Otherwise, let me Bloodthirst my little heart out and press Rampage whenever it's lit up. It's much more cut and dry. It's very simple. And you're executing whenever that button lights up too. So instead of having Rampaging Blow, Onslaught, all the other nonsense that you have, right? You have Bloodthirst, you have Rampage, you have Whirlwind, you have Execute. I can count to 4 on one hand, right? And that's the way I need to play this game. So let's go down a little bit lower. As you can see, we're taking Enraged Regen, Improved Enrage, and Improved Execute, down to Sudden Death, Invigorating Fury, which is just more Enraged Regen help, and it heals you for 20% of your max health, which again, we have a ton of maximum health, so we're doing a ton of percent-based healing. Into Warpaint, this is only half the reduction in PvP, so it's only 5%, but you have Defensive Stance, so if you really do have to, go Enraged Regen, Defensive Stance, you're going to have Warpaint. You are a brick wall at that point, and you're sustaining yourself with Bloodthirst for 3% of your total health every time that button comes up and available. So you're very difficult to kill unless they put like a full CC chain into you to stop you from being able to sustain yourself. But then if they do that, they also have to CC your healer in the same way. So Fury is not a very easy go target. You're playing like a DPS tank when you play Fury Warrior, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. It's also awesome open world. Now we take improved enrage. So it's going to, every time we're enraged, we're increasing our haste by 15%. And we're also going to increase our movement speed by 10%. So we're moving fast and our haste is going through the roof. Now we're over, 35% haste at that point. We take improved bloodthirst, and we go bloodthirst heavy throughout the entire tree. I'm going to take you straight down this left wing because I love it. So from here, while enraged, your auto attacks can no longer miss, which is massive because we take Annihilator, where this replaces Raging Blow, and your auto attacks deal an additional 2,000 damage and generate 4 rage. So it's huge that we stay enraged as much as possible because we're also never missing an auto attack, which is just generating more rage for us. We go down, we go into Cold Steel Hot Blood, Bloodthirst critical strikes, generate 4 additional rage, and inflict gushing wounds. If you played BFA Season 4, you're going to see gushing wound damage is back when you play Fury Warrior. And it's actually kind of oppressive, right? It can be 5 to like 8% of your total damage in a match. And that's nice because it's free, right? You're already pressing Bloodthirst to keep yourself sustained. Let's get 5 to 7% of our total damage for free on top of that as a gushing wound. And I take this into Vicious Contempt. Bloodthirst deals 25% increased damage to enemies who are below 35% health. I would love to take this 2 out of 2, but I really want improved Whirlwind, and I don't think I would give up anything else here. Maybe you could give up Slaughtering Strikes for this, but I like the extra enrage damage that you're getting passively. So it's really something you got to kind of juggle, test it out. I'm sure there's some math behind it. I feel like diversifying my talent points makes for a better Fury Warrior experience. Now we go down to Bloodborne. Our bleed damage is increased by 20%. That's Odin's Fury, Thunderous Roar, and Gushing Wounds. So we're definitely taking this because we're a bleed-focused build. Bloodthirst increases the critical strike chance of your next Bloodthirst by 15%. Stacks up to 5 times. This is going to be, stacking basically forever. You have big critical strike chance on your Bloodthirst. You'll see like 60,000 plus Bloodthirsts go out with this build, which is really nice because the button's up all the time. It's like if Mortal Strike didn't have a cooldown, essentially. Deft Experience, we're going to increase our Mastery by 2% and reduce the cooldown of Bloodthirst by 1.5 seconds, which is big, and that makes it so Bloodthirst is very pressable for us, essentially. When we're enraged, we're going to have Bloodthirst just coming back up over and over again. Then Storm of Swords we go into. Whirlwind's got a 7-second cooldown, but it deals 80% increased damage, right? So if you have to, pop a Whirlwind in order to get a Rampage out between Barbaric Training and Storm of Swords, you're going to be doing a little bit more Whirlwind damage. It's nice. And then obviously we take that down to Annihilator. Now on this side of the tree, we're going Odin's Fury. This is just a big, fat, upfront damage attack. And then it causes a bleed on the target over 4 seconds. And it's AoE, so it's all enemies within 12 yards. You got a 45-second cooldown here. Odin's Fury is pretty awesome. And then we take Odin's Fury and rages you and deals 10% increased damage and grants you 2 stacks of Whirlwind. This is just really nice because you're getting 10% increased damage. And a free enrage every time you press Odin's Fury. So if you wanted to go right into a fight and, press your, what I call my little Swifty macro, which is called Wreck here, Alt 1, come in, press that. I got Recklessness going, Avatar going, Odin's Fury going. I get a free enrage out of it, and I can Rampage right out of it. So you get a lot of value by taking Titanic Rage. Now, let's go down the middle of our tree. I'm taking Frenzy for more haste. You'll have this maxed in no time. And Slaughtering Strikes, again, just some AFK, additional Rampage damage you're going to get for sticking on a target. Now, Recklessness, obviously we take this. This increases our Rage regeneration by 100% and grants your abilities 20% increased critical strike chance for 12 seconds. And that's on a 1.5-minute cooldown. So you're going to have that rolling with, all of your other 1.5-minute cooldowns. Avatar, Recklessness, Thunderous Roar. Fury is really cool in that you don't have to wait a full 2 minutes for your big go. you actually get your big go every minute and a half. So very, very cool there. Then this goes down to Swift Strikes, increases our haste by 2%, and allows Annihilator to generate 2 additional rage. And then we go to Reckless Abandon, so we get big, giant, empowered bloodthirsts every time we are, under the influence of recklessness. And then Unbridled Ferocity, Rampage, and Onslaught have a 20% chance to grant recklessness for 4 seconds. You're going to get recklessness a lot because you will be rampaging a lot. And then that will go right into your big fat, bloodbath, empowered bloodthirsts. And from here, we go Cruelty, which is just while enraged, Annihilators dealing 10% increased damage. So 10% increased damage on your auto attacks, and Improve Whirlwind, so you can spread your rampage out if, you're going into a melee cleave or you have multiple people stacked, right? You can hit 4 additional targets. You could actually have Mortal Strike stacks going on the entire team if they want to stack up. I actually love queuing into Fistweaver teams because of Improved Whirlwind and being able to have an MS on their entire team and rolling that throughout the entire game. Very, very fun for Fistweavers. Fury is very anti-Fistweaver, I will say. Let's go into our PvP talents. Slaughterhouse is kind of a lock-in. Maybe I take it off if I'm with a Demon Hunter. But other than that, I am locking this in because it's a 36% MS. Rampage damage reduces the healing the target receives by 3% for 16 seconds. And it stacks up to 12 times. It takes a little bit to stack it up. But once it's stacked up, you're going to keep it up, right? It's very hard to have this fall off entirely because it's got a 16-second duration now. Then we go into Warbringer, which this is just massive damage on your charges, and you're rooting everybody that you charge into. So Warbringer is kind of a lock-in for Fury, I feel. And then Battle Trance is the talent that I flex, and I'll tell you what I flex into and how I flex around it. So Battle Trance, you go into a trance causing you to regenerate 3% of your health and generate 3 rage every 3 seconds for 18 seconds after striking a target with your auto attacks, right? Your Annihilator empowered auto attacks 8 times. This will just be ticking throughout a game. When you go to a new target and swap, you'll reset this. So if I'm playing this, it's generally a game where I know I am going to stick one target hard. Like if I queue into a Warlock team and I see that purple portal, summoning son of a gun, I am absolutely taking this because I am on a one-track mind to run that Warlock into the floor lock, right? But let's say it's a game I know I'm going to be swapping a little bit more, like Rogue teams, I'll take a Disarm, right? Rogue Hunter. You could also, into Mage teams, right? Frost Mage, you could take Blood Rage because you're going to be rooted so much, but you have a 20-second ability here that'll get you out of roots. So we're not like Arms Warriors. We don't have Blade Storm, unfortunately, which I really hope they eventually bring back, right? Like I hope they give Fury the ability to get Blade Storm eventually. But if they do not bring it back to Fury Warrior, we do have Blood Rage. So you have a great 20-second root break. The problem with it is it costs you 5% of your health, but in this heavily sustained focus build, because we're getting so many bloodthirsts out, it's actually not as detrimental as it looks, and you're gaining rage. So you get 10 rage a second over 4 seconds, which is, pretty darn nice, right? You're going to get a free rampage every time you hit Blood Rage, as long as you have any uptime on the target. And I've even swapped in Death Sentence sometimes, but I think Blood Rage might be a little better than Death Sentence. Death Sentence is nice because our 4-piece is giving us so many more executes. I guess it's really a dealer's choice, right? Do you want to go Blood Rage and wait out the roots and then catch up to the person with Death Sentence, or get out of the roots for free knowing you're sacking 5% of your health every 20 seconds? So it's kind of a toss-up between Death Sentence and Blood Rage there. Now, as far as... Oh, no. There we go. As far as... forgot I wasn't on my dragon mount there. The rotation, I mean, Fury is very one-dimensional in its rotation, so you can do this a couple different ways. If you want to get, you know, cheeky, you can go in, you know, go in, Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, slowly bring up your Rage in the beginning, right? Throw a Slam in there, get your Rampage going, and then go into your, you know, your full abilities, right? Or if you know that you can get an opener on 2 or more targets, what I'll do is I'll just come in hot, boom, Swifty into Thunderous Roar, into Rampage, and then I'm pumping, right? Boom, into Rampage, pumping. Resend the Odin's Fury, and we're just pumping at this point, right? So this is damage that's going out on everybody that's around you, as long as you Whirlwind before your Rampage. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a lot of big damage. It's very one-dimensional, so you can really kind of take a higher level view of the game, work on peeling for your partner, using rally when you need to, disarming you know, the rogue on his kidney shot goes, you know, etc. Right? Since your damage rotation is very simple, you can actually kind of not look at your buttons and, you know, pay more attention to the arena that's going on. So if you've had any issues, you know, unlocking the elite set, you know, on arms, or maybe you just haven't picked up warrior yet because Fury's your favorite spec, but everybody says it's unviable. You know, again, I'm here to tell you, 90 rounds in, you know, we're over 1900, and this is, you know, I've played Fury for like 2 days essentially. So I hope the video helped you guys out. I hope you enjoyed the explanations. If you made it this far, click that like button on the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. It's why the channel has grown so much since September, and it's been a lot of fun. So have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, and have a good year. Tomato sauce and out. Fury Warrior absolutely in. Enjoy, guys. Take it easy.